It's the daydream so many of us have had, standing on a balcony at sunset thinking, what if I just never went home? What if retirement was this, every single day? And in 2026, there are real companies selling exactly that dream, a cabin at sea for the rest of your life. But before you sell the house and sail into the sunset, I have to tell you the honest part that the glossy brochures leave out, because it's the part that matters most for us. So let me start with the one that stops most sensible seniors cold. And it isn't the money, it's your health coverage. Here is the hard truth for any American considering this. Medicare in 2026 still does not cover you once the ship is more than 6 hours from a U.S. port. Think about what that means for a life at sea, out on the ocean, crossing to Europe, anchored off some beautiful far-flung island. You are, for medical purposes, on your own. The ship's little clinic is fine for a cold or a sprain, but a real emergency means an evacuation that can cost a staggering sum and a hospital that might be very far away indeed. That single fact, before we discuss a penny of the price, is why living at sea is a very different proposition after 70 than it looks in the advertisement. And it goes beyond just Medicare. The ship's medical center, lovely as the staff are, is set up to handle the immediate, a fall, a fever, a small emergency, and then to stabilize you and get you off the ship to a proper hospital in the nearest port if it's anything serious. It is not built for the ongoing care so many of us need as we age. The managing of a heart condition, the regular monitoring of blood sugar or blood pressure, the specialist who tracks a chronic illness over years. Living aboard, you'd be trusting your most complex health needs to a small clinic and a rotating series of foreign hospitals, far from any doctor who knows your history. For a fit 65-year-old, that might feel abstract, but we plan for the years ahead, not just today. And the honest truth is that our health needs tend to grow, not shrink. A life at sea is a bet that they won't. And that's a bet I'd never want you to make blindly. Now, I want to be fair, because there is genuine magic in this idea, and for a rare few, it truly works. I'm not here to crush a dream. I'm here to make sure that if you chase it, you go in with both eyes wide open, the way our generation was raised to. I understand the pull of it better than most, believe me. When you love the sea the way I do, the idea of never leaving it has a powerful romance. No more raking leaves, no more winter heating bills, no more cooking and cleaning, just sunsets and new horizons, and someone else making the bed. On the surface, it sounds like the perfect retirement, and there's a whole industry now built on selling you exactly that picture. But I've watched real people chase this dream in the last couple of years, and I've watched the picture meet reality, and the gap between the two is where I need to spend the next few minutes with you. Because the romance is real, but so is the fine print. And the fine print is where retirements are made or broken. Stay with me and keep a pen handy, because I'll walk you through the real dark side, honestly, and then who this actually can work for. Take a picture of the screen at the end and you'll have the whole list. And if we're just meeting, I'm Margaret, your cruise companion, and I love a life at sea as much as anyone alive, which is exactly why I won't sell you a fantasy about it. Let's talk about the money next, because it's not what you think. The second hard truth: the cost is enormous, and it comes in two frightening shapes. The residential cruise companies now selling lifetime cabins are asking eye-watering sums up front. We're talking a one-time fee that can run from around $300,000 for a single cabin to $500,000 for a double, with the price on some plans actually higher the younger and healthier you are. And that's before the monthly fees on top. The other route, simply booking back-to-back cruises forever, sounds cheaper, but the honest math lands somewhere between $30,000 a year if you are extraordinarily disciplined, and well over $200,000 for anything comfortable. Either way, this is not the budget escape it's dressed up as. For most of us on a fixed income, the numbers alone close the conversation, and I want you to look past the headline fee to the ongoing reality, because that's where it really bites. Even once you've paid that enormous sum, the money doesn't stop. There are monthly fees, and then all the things that are never included: the Wi-Fi you'll want to reach family, the gratuities, the excursions, the specialty dining, the drinks, the spa, the medical visits. These add up relentlessly, month after month, year after year, on top of what you already paid. And unlike a house, you're not building any equity. When it's over, whether you leave by choice or because your health forces it, you typically walk away with nothing to show for all that money. Compare that to keeping your home, which holds its value and remains yours, and taking wonderful long cruises when you please. For nearly everyone on a normal retirement income, the arithmetic simply doesn't work, and it's better to know that plainly now than to learn it after you've signed everything away. The third truth, and this one sneaks up on people: the cabin is tiny, and it was never designed for growing old in. A stateroom is a wonderful thing for a week, but imagine it as your whole home for years. A few hundred square feet, a small bathroom that was built for an able-bodied 30-year-old, not for the walker or the shower seat you may need down the road. These cabins don't have the grab bars, the space, the aging in place thinking of a proper retirement home. What feels cozy on a holiday can feel like a shrinking box when it's your permanent world and your body is changing. And to keep the cost down, the people who actually attempt this usually take the very cheapest cabins, the small inside ones with no window, no natural light, no view at all. Imagine that as your home for years, a windowless room the size of a modest bathroom with none of the light and air that lift the spirit. A proper retirement home, whatever else you might say about it, is designed for aging. Wide doorways, grab bars, space for a walker, help close at hand, a community built around your needs. A cruise cabin is designed for a young couple to sleep in for a week between days out. Those are opposite things. Dress it up however you like. But a life lived in a small ship's cabin is not a life designed for growing old with dignity and ease. And that gap only widens with every passing year. Fourth truth is one nobody wants to say out loud: your medications. Living at sea, you're constantly trying to refill prescriptions in foreign ports, or battling your insurance company to release several months of pills at once, or discovering the ship's little pharmacy only stocks the over-the-counter basics. For those of us who depend on a steady supply of something important, that logistical nightmare month after month, in country after country, is not a small inconvenience. It's a genuine risk to your health, and it never, ever stops. And think about how this compounds over a real lifetime aboard. It's not one refill you're managing. It's a prescription that has to be renewed month after month, year after year, in a rotating cast of countries with different rules, different drugs, different names for the same medicine, and pharmacists who may not speak your language. Add in the specialist you're supposed to see every few months for a chronic condition, the annual screenings your doctor at home would keep on top of, the small adjustments to a dose that need a familiar physician who knows your history. None of that travels well. On land, it's a phone call and a short drive. At sea, permanently, it becomes a constant, grinding logistical burden that only grows heavier as we age and our health needs grow. That's the part the brochure will never show you. The fifth truth is the one that quietly breaks hearts: the distance from family. That sunset balcony is glorious until it's your granddaughter's school play, your son's birthday, an ordinary Sunday dinner you're missing for the 100th time. The grandchildren grow up in photographs, and should someone back home fall ill, or should you, being an ocean away, turns a simple family moment into a logistical crisis. No view, however beautiful, fills the chair at the family table that you're no longer sitting in. The sixth truth surprised even me when I looked closely. The loneliness. You'd think a ship full of people would be the opposite of lonely, and for a week it is. But when you live aboard, everyone around you is temporary. The lovely couple you dine with this week flies home next Tuesday, and a new set of strangers takes their place. The crew rotate out, year after year of that, of never building the deep-rooted friendships that sustain us as we age, wears on the soul in a way the brochures never mention. Constant company is not the same as real companionship, and at our stage, we need the real thing. And there's a related loss that runs even deeper, the slow fraying of your roots at home, the friends you've known for 40 years, the neighbor who checks in, the church group, the regular coffee, the doctor who knows your whole history, the community that would rally round if you fell ill. All of that is built on being there, week in and week out. Sail away permanently, and however lovely the sun sets, those roots slowly wither from simple absence. And roots are exactly what hold us steady as we age. The people I've watched try this often speak eventually of a loneliness that surprised them, a sense of floating, quite literally, unanchored from everything and everyone that gave their days meaning. A view is a wonderful thing, but it is not a substitute for a life woven into a place and its people, and that, more than any fee, is what makes a permanent life at sea so much harder than the dream suggests. And the seventh truth, which is very much a 2026 story, is the risk of the companies themselves. This is a young, unproven business. This very year, one of the most talked about residential cruise ventures left its would-be residents stranded at the departure port for months. The ship stuck with mechanical and certification problems, missed ports, broken air conditioning, plumbing troubles, and residents reportedly asked to cover their own hotel bills while they waited. And here's the part that chilled me. When some of those residents complained, the company reportedly canceled their contracts and put them off the ship. Read that twice. You could hand over your life savings for a home at sea and find yourself with neither the home nor the savings and no easy recourse. When you pour everything into a company this new, you are taking a very real gamble with your security. And think about who is most exposed if it goes wrong. Not a young traveler with decades of earning ahead to recover a loss. It's us, on fixed savings we can't rebuild, who can least afford to hand a large sum to an unproven venture and hope. If you ever were tempted by one of these residential programs, please treat it with the same caution you'd bring to any big financial decision late in life. Have a lawyer read the contract. Ask exactly what happens to your money if the company fails, or if your health forces you to leave, or if they decide to end your contract. Speak to a financial advisor who has nothing to sell you, and never ever put in money you couldn't afford to lose entirely. The dream is being sold hard right now, and the people selling it are very good at it. Your job is to be the careful, clear-eyed buyer our generation was raised to be. So let me give you the honest picture, clean, and this is your moment to take a photo of the screen. The dark side of retiring at sea. Medicare doesn't cover you 6 hours out from a U.S. port. The cost is enormous, 6 figures up front or a fortune each year. The cabins are tiny and not built for aging bodies. Refilling medications abroad is a constant nightmare. You're painfully far from family. The friendships are always temporary. And the residential cruise companies themselves are a young, risky bet, as 2026 has shown in the hardest way. Now, who can this actually work for? I'll be fair. If you are in robust health, financially very comfortable, well beyond your fixed income, blessed with a portable sense of independence, and either without close family ties or with family happy to fly and meet you, then yes, a season of your retirement at sea can be a glorious thing. And here's what I gently suggest to anyone tempted. Don't sell the house. Try it first. Book a long back-to-back cruise, 2 or 3 months at sea, and live the reality before you ever commit your life to it. Most people who do that come home having loved the trip and quietly grateful they still have a home to come home to. And there's a middle path that I think is the real answer for most of us who feel this pull. 1. Nobody advertises because there's no big fee to sell you on it. Some seniors have found a beautiful rhythm of spending the coldest months at sea, a long winter voyage or a series of back-to-back cruises, and then coming home for spring and summer to the garden, the grandchildren, the doctor, and the friends. You get a generous helping of the dream, months of it, without surrendering your health care, your family, or your roots. It scratches the itch entirely, and it keeps you safe and connected. That, to my mind, is how a sensible person who loves the sea actually lives out this fantasy. A season away, not a life given over. The best of the ocean, with the anchor of home still holding. So many of you have written to me torn between the dream of endless cruising and the fear of getting it wrong. And I gathered all my honest thinking on how to cruise long, often, and wisely into one place. The Insider's Playbook, along with the full planner, makes up the Senior Cruise Companion Collection. It's the written version of everything we talk about here. The link is down in the description, and there's a code on your screen for those of you watching on the television. It's there if it would help, and only if you want it. But here's the heart of it. You do not have to move onto a ship to fill your retirement with the sea. You can sail 4 times a year, or 6, chase the itineraries that thrill you, and still keep the home, the family, the doctor, and the roots that keep you well and safe. That, to me, is the dream done wisely. All the wonder of the ocean, with none of the dark side. Take the cruises, keep the anchor. That's the way to do this beautifully. I'm Margaret, your cruise companion. Dream big, plan wisely, and I'll see you on the next one.